next week I'm in Spain.
Yeah.
Bale, and then it's like next week I'm at the derby in Belgrade, and then it's like week after I'm interviewing KSI and and then it's like and then it's you're sort of always, what's next? How does this get bigger? How does this,
It's a bottomless pit you can never get to.
Eventually, unless you find the sort of grounding in who you are, and if that is the only thing which defines you, once it goes, it's like someone even threw a beer that hit me on the back of my
no way.
That goal, at the end, and someone probably just threw a beer out of anger, and it just smashed me on the back. So I've got this wet back as well. I'm looking back, so I turn around, and I'm obviously now a bit angered. I'm like, and I'm looking up the stadium, and no one wants to say anything.
You're listening to Board with Nelly.
We're good, my guy. We're ready to go. Welcome to the Board with Nelly podcast. I don't even know how to introduce you, bro. You're like a time traveler. Do you know what I mean? You're like a time traveler. Like you're dabbing behind Obama. You're talking to Katie Hopkins. Silva is doing a have a nice celebration. You're a man that travels through time, it feels.
Wait, my mum's calling me. 1 second. There you go.
Of course.
Hello. Rec. Do Poljaka. Pa sad pričam s nekim na ljudem. Pa da ga znam, ali sad pričam s čovjekom. Ajde, čao. Ajde, ciao. Mom wants me to go to Sainsbury's to help her with shopping.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I can't now. I do it all the time. We're here.
We're here. You're a fucking time traveler. I was saying you're basically a time traveler in my eyes.
I take that as a compliment. I don't know. Yeah, I like that. Definitely a bit of an enigma, I guess, in the world, in terms of how I fit into the world, I guess. But I'll take that as a compliment for sure, man.
Dude, you started with like rap videos and stuff. Like you started doing rap. That's the craziest part of all. Like I think people might forget that you made rap videos.
Yeah, parodies and just fun shit. I just loved funny shit and ludicrous kind of humor. That's why my favorite comedian now, I would say, is Eric Andre.
Oh, Eric Andre, really? Fuck, that's a good show.
I just love all that just ludicrous, nonsensical, just humor and music and rap has always been something I enjoyed sort of dabbling with. And those are sort of the first steps in the online world. And since then it's been very, very crazy, very intense. I've calmed down a little bit over the last few years.
Yeah, I was going to say.
It's definitely been a crazy journey.
But you haven't you make like 1 or 2 rap videos every couple of years or whatnot. Is that like you just fell out of love with it or what?
Yeah, I think so. And the creative process, I think, changed for me. Before, I think I'd have an idea and I'd have the whole vision in my head of the idea, the video, everything, how to do it. And then I'd do it and I'd love the reaction of the audience. And that was the main sort of reason, was to go viral.
Yeah.
And as I've gotten a bit older, I don't want to be viral.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, not really. No, don't get me wrong. It's nice and it gives you little boosts of dopamine and shit. But I don't have the same desires to be sort of seen as much. I'm sort of happy with where I'm at. But that doesn't mean it won't change. Maybe I'll just reimagine my creative process. But those were kind of the main reasons I started doing a lot of things when I was younger. Was for those sort of viral reactions, and then. Yeah, I can't be bothered.
It's a lot of effort, man. Fuck, it's a lot of effort to.
No, it is. It's a lot of energy. Yeah. It's a lot of energy to sort of always be trying to go viral and going viral, which I did do a lot of times on the internet. It is a lot of energy, and I think I've sort of, upon reflection, seen how much energy it is.
Yeah, and the downsides that it could lead to as well, right?
It can have its downsides, and visibility isn't always a marker of success, and I don't think visibility necessarily, gives a human their value.
Of course.
So yeah, I've just sort of, I think I've reimagined and rethought in my own sort of way what I deem to be a sort of, I guess, a successful life. But I've enjoyed my viral moments.
Yeah.
There may be some more in the future. But yeah, man, I just can't. Yeah, I'm in that current mood of it just can't be asked, innit?
Yeah. Listen, you're I look up to you big time, and I listen to like Kevin Hart's podcast, and he does a lot of things where he like gives people. He says he gives people their flowers. That's what I want to do. You're a guy I look up to big time, so I want to give you your flowers because to me, even when I kind of was making it in my own like engineering world, my first job, I always looked at like what you're doing. I'm like, damn. This is making it. Like my version of what making it was created by something else, by the external forces that be, like society, my parents, whatever it may be. But I'm like, Vuj is just doing what he loves. And he seems like he's doing a lot of things that he loves, which is crazy because you've done so many things. And that's why I love doing so many different things. So to me, you're a guy I looked up, I'm like, man, he's figured it out. How do I, take even a 10% of this and apply it to my own existence? So it's, when I see you doing rap videos and then talking about footy and then promoting dominoes, I'm like, dude, this guy's fucking doing everything. He is like, there's no rules to what you can do, which to me is like the ultimate. You've completed the game where like you're going to the right steps in the game.
Yeah, I'm. Yeah, no, thank you. I'll as a compliment as well, and I appreciate you sharing that. Yeah, for me, I think there really are no limits. And it sounds cliche, apart from what we impose on ourselves, and maybe even me talking about all this viral stuff is like me imposing something on myself, in my brain. But I think the minute we start to overly try to limit ourselves and perfect everything, and then it loses. I don't know. I think life can lose a bit of its magic. And yeah, for me, I love experiences. Like I'm very experience driven. So whenever like a new one is possible, I sort of get excited by that, or nervous, or maybe even scared sometimes. But yeah, I've definitely had a lot of experiences, and I think because I plunged myself into a lot of this stuff without much thought and just sort of going with it as it comes, and it can be a bit of an intimidating way to live. Because even to this day, I mean, I'm 30 next year.
That's fucking wild.
It's been like 10 years online, and sort of still having really cool experiences, as much as they may not be as frequent as before. But for example, Portugal and Mitro.
Yes, yeah, we're gonna talk about that. Yeah,
that was very just like, all right, I'm gonna go. This was like a moment. I'm just gonna go, and then I filmed a vlog with my friend, and I haven't even put it out yet. Like 2 months late. But yeah, we got the video of the celebrations, and that was like almost like another. But I wouldn't say it was as planned as before in terms of like virality, but it did sort of go semi-viral in the Serbia.
Yeah, bro, of course. I remember like the limbs when Mitro scored that header.
Incredible. It was incredible.
Did you just like book the tickets last minute? How'd that go?
Yeah, very, very last minute. I've been doing some work with the guys at Puma, with Poet, my friend that we have our YouTube channel with. And I just said, like, look, can you guys cover expenses? I'm going to do a vlog. I'll take some photos out there, obviously wearing Serbia, wear the Puma shirts. It's very organic. And they were like, yeah, man, sure, why not? So I just booked it, very last minute, like 2-3 days before. I wasn't even going to go, man. At one point, I said, what's the point?
With the travel and the restrictions and was it annoying?
A little bit, yeah. I nearly missed my flight back to London. It was a bit difficult to kind of do all that, but I'm so happy I did it and went and experienced another sort of amazing moment. So yeah, you just got to put yourself in the deep end and go for it, if you can. And I've sort of been living like that for the last 10 years without any real overall plan.
Yeah,
I'm trying. I think in my 30s to just be a bit more, thoughtful and a bit more, rounded as an individual and explore new options of what I enjoy doing, because what you enjoy also changes.
Of course, yeah.
We've spoken about, so it's definitely a process.
I don't know how it is there in the UK, but here the mindset is for most people to get a job in their early 20s, something that makes good money, not something that you necessarily enjoy doing, and then to settle down, buy a house, buy a car, and then the next step is buy a bigger house, get a bigger car. get like 2 weeks here. I don't know how it works in the UK, but in the US, Canada, you have like 1 week of vacation, 2 weeks of vacation in some places, and you start replacing things with experiences, which to me is like the saddest. I don't know. It feels like it's such a trap, you know.
I think each to their own.
Yeah.
And I can see how for many people that might be, a stable way forward. And there is something that's nice about, I think, discipline and structure, which perhaps the other side, the creative side, doesn't have as much. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but I do see its, pitfalls and the negative side of it. And as you said, like, it can feel like a trap. And yeah, I think, growing up here, it's the same thing. I think it's the same. Yeah. And we come from, Serbian background, and that is a background which is, much more traditional, get married.
Yeah.
Do a professionally respected job. And go into life, and just sort of, with your head on your shoulders and don't make a fool of yourself. I've definitely failed on a lot of those counts, especially making a fool of myself. But yeah, I think it's similar here. But things are changing. I think things are changing. People are seeing there's different options and different ways to express yourself and create and generate some sort of financial income. Just YouTube seeing itself as grown so much now. You've got TikTok and all these other avenues potentially to make money. So I think there are people that are, I guess, an example of that. I've done it for the last decade, and I've lived a relatively, I'd say safe life, a normal life in terms of, finances and
of course,
structure in terms of that sort of professional side. But I don't know, man. I like to live I like to just live a normal existence. I'm not too driven by the goods or the material side of things, or much more so.
I feel like you either have that epiphany or you don't. Some people have it, some people don't. Maybe they have it later, maybe they don't have it at all. Maybe that's what they enjoy. But to me, I had it very early. I was very, I think, fortunate to have the epiphany where like experience is way more valuable to me, at least, than chasing the money. Because I mean, once my needs are met, I don't like. What do I need? Like, I don't need a big house. What am I trying to do? Like, I'm not trying to have the biggest house in my area. I'm not trying to be the richest guy in the cemetery, like.
Yeah.
So exactly. I just like learning new shit. So I'll spend my time on learning shit as opposed to buying shit.
Yeah, I think it's a valuable way to live. Once again, like, everybody's got their own path. But things are changing, and there's different options, and it sounds like even us just having this conversation, it would have maybe been impossible.
Right.
To connect with someone that you want to connect with or talk to, and there's no rules, as my specs says. There's no rules. There really isn't. It's just what we impose on ourselves, man.
Yeah.
You can do whatever the fuck you want, dude. Of course.
Yeah.
I don't know, like you're fishing if you live by a park, but
right.
Overall you can sort of put your mind to something and go for it.
Yeah. I was gonna say, for the TikTok thing, you were like one of the first people to do like TikTok dances, like before TikTok. Like some of your first videos were that was kind of wild.
Yeah, I love dancing. Yeah, I still do love dancing. And my early videos, a lot of it was sort of rhythm and dance inspired. But yeah, that was like,
you would have been like the next Dixie or whatever those fucking chicks are.
I can't. I don't know, man. It just feels like times I've done things which maybe weren't a trend.
Yeah.
Sort of became a trend years later in a certain way.
It did, yeah.
It's cool. It's weird, even like with YouTube, I started YouTube when there was no adverts on YouTube. So there was no real perspective of making money off it. It was just to put stuff out.
It was pure. It was just doing it because you want to do it.
Yeah, you want to do it. Yeah, just like, I might go play football because I want to go play football, or I want to. It was a very sort of natural thing to do. And now it's a multi-billion-pound business, and so many creators on there, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But I think for me, sometimes now it's just an over-stimulation and over-saturation, and I don't connect as much with a lot of the content. As I said, like, Eric Andre is one of my favorite guys, and so I like that stuff, which is just very left.
Yeah.
Left field. So I think as YouTube's sort of become more of a mainstream place, there's not as many left field things on there.
Right.
As it's become more mainstream, it is more, I'd say, controlled, and it is more, smooth.
I agree.
Vanilla
Corporate, almost.
It's more corporate.
Yeah.
It's become more of a corporate structure, and you know, once you've got like news channels with YouTube channels, it's just, you know, it loses that sort of edge.
It does,
I think
yeah.
That's what I loved about YouTube was, I think early on was it allowed people to express their edge and then just be weird as hell. And there's still pockets of it.
Yeah. Now it's like on the outskirts, whereas it was like there's the majority before. Yeah.
Before it was just like everybody was a troll. Everybody was trolling, you know. Whereas I think now it's like it's.
Dude, you had rap videos. I was hoping to bring up one of your lines. It's fucking amazing. I was watching an old school rap video because this to me is like you basically kind of were like the first Lil Dicky. You know, you fuck with Lil Dicky? Ever heard of him?
Yeah, I like Little Dicky. He's sick.
Yeah,
he started before me. I don't know.
No way. Dude, your videos were like 11 years ago.
Okay, cool. It was a while back.
It was, what was it? I hope to one day tickle the G-spot of a female called Rihanna. I go in, slide tackle her with an outstretched leg, no vintage. She can play with my one, though, no quidditch.
Yeah, shit was wild, bro. Yo, no one's really quoted those bars to me before. I'm like, just go back on that video.
Dude, I was watching, I was dying. This is so good. I'm like, Lil Dicky stole your flow, man. You know, like that one meme with Soulja Boy? Lil Dicky stole my flow, man.
Yeah, I love that sort of outlandish rapping.
Yeah.
It's totally out there with the bars and trying to be as provocative as possible. I think was my way of doing things, was like provoke a reaction. Like, you know, you can do it, and then you just go for it in terms of writing and the comedy back then for me.
And that's where Bricka came from, right? Like that's where...
Yeah, Bricka was just like, my dad was a builder. You know, Bricka, it was like, the name was inspired by Waka Flocka. So I was like, Bricka. And then Hard in the Paint was the first video. So it was inspired by Waka Flocka Flame. The Eastern European, you know, migrants had started to arrive in droves in the UK at that point. And my dad obviously had all the tools, had the van, and this sort of, you know, I guess hyper Eastern European stereotype from early. Yeah. And it became more common here, and I just sort of infused it all into this one character, and it became like it's sort of like a cult. It has like sort of like a cult status here.
Does it really?
Yeah, it's known, you know, predominantly as you call the ends. You know, not the hood, but you know, the inner city.
I got you.
And you know, where multicultural areas are how I've grown up. I think that character sort of became a sort of like cult legend. And there's a few other characters, like, you know, Don't Jealous Me is one of them. He did like a Nigerian character. You had like a few other guys. You had Hamza, who did like an Asian Pakistani character.
Right.
So there was all of us guys doing these sort of like over the top sort of stereotypical characters, and we made our own little shows, and we had like Smokey's Barbers, which was it's like a sitcom type show where we all teamed up and we were in a barber shop and did our own little sitcom. That was great. You should watch that.
Yeah, I'm gonna look into that. I didn't see that.
Barbers is like, it's a bit.
What was it called?
London centric. Smokey's Barbers. Yeah, you did 4 or 5 episodes. It's fucking wild. But yeah, everybody was sort of doing their own thing individually, and we ended up teaming up due to a guy called Jazzy actually putting it all together, having the idea, and yeah, that character in London and sort of, I said, the inner city areas sort of became very, very popular and you know, resonated. It resonated with people.
Right. That's kind of wild. And all these guys a lot of them have gone on to do their own things, which is kind of crazy. You start seeing all these guys around you that are also succeeding. It must be like really nice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
Kind of a community.
Yeah. Tolly does that. He's like an actor now. A few of the other guys have like other things that they're doing. It's good, man. It's good shit. We sort of, I guess, you know, started very early and it sort of took its own way.
How does football come into that? How did Copa90 and how did football come in?
I love football, man. I've always loved football from a young age, and there was a channel launching as I was doing all my stuff on my own channel, all the Bricka, and sort of it was all bubbling up. This channel Copa90 launched, and they had a show which my friend Poet actually auditioned for, and he got me to audition for a show with him, and we got it. It's called Comments Below. We got the show, and then we ended up being these sort of presenters, creators on the channel.
So you knew Poet before the show, though? I didn't know that.
I knew of him. I knew.
Oh, okay.
we sort of followed each other on social media. So he used to always see me on social media tweeting and just being
Bricka.
And he was, oh, this guy. And he always see me talk about football. And then he was, oh, you know what? Come down to this audition we have for this thing. And yeah, we came down and we did well, and the people liked us. And yeah, we ended up working at Copa90 then for the next 8 years. So
it's a job though. You know how wild was it? Like telling your family and friends, like, shit, look at this. I got a job out, like an actual paid job out of it, like being a goof on the internet and doing all these videos.
It shows you how, like, I find that's fascinating. Is like when you put stuff out there and you just go for it without too much, you know, where is this going to lead?
Yes.
Because I never pretend, you know, of course I wanted to do things I love, but I didn't have the vision of where is this going to go, you know, and it sort of keeps developing, you know. I find that's the beauty of it, is sometimes not knowing and
yes,
where it can take you with just being out there, you know, and just putting stuff out. Something will stick, something won't stick, but you know, you might meet people on the same wavelength and things evolve, and one thing leads to the other, and this leads to that, and it's like a little chain reactions. And I think that to me is the most fascinating thing about creating and putting content out there and expressing yourself, is you just don't know where it's going to go. And yeah, that, you know, me doing all this Bricka ended up to this football channel,
right?
And then we had to come up with an idea, and I came up with the concept FIFA and Chill, of like playing games and interviewing football players. That ends up being viral, and we end up staying there a bit longer. And you know, it's just,
yeah. And you talked to so many fucking big footballers and had so many cool conversations. And who would have thought, like, you would have gone from rapping in your dorm to Rihanna and Quidditch to talking to, like, you know, like De Gea and what the, like, you know, these guys.
Yeah, you know, Beckham was a big one.
Yeah.
It's
wild.
Traveling the world, you know, going to the World Cup, going to all these countries. It's like, I'm happy I did all these things in my 20s, because obviously now we've got the lockdowns and all these restrictions, and it's like so much. If I'm like, oh, thank God I got that out of the way, you know?
You got the last train. There's no more trains.
Sometimes they're like, oh, you know, let's go on holiday here. Let's go. I'm like, bruv, I can't be bothered, because
yeah,
all these tests, you know, like, but that's my damage esteem.
Yeah.
Sometimes it feels like I did it in the right time, and yeah.
How many years did you do Copa90? How many years was that total?
Maybe like 7.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
7-ish.
You probably made like hundreds, maybe 1,000 episodes of.
So much content, so much stuff. Yeah.
It's like the Gary V. I need more content. I just need more content.
It was a lot. It was a lot of content. And then, yeah, now it's like post Copa90 life, you know?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, what happened? What did it just not work out? You guys didn't see eye to eye on creative direction? Yeah,
creative direction. I think as the company got bigger and more corporate and it's functioning, that raw element of creativity just slowly gets, you know.
Yeah.
You know, limited. And you think you see that with many things online, you know, that sort of started very wild and it sort of gets curtailed. And I understand that process, but I think for me, I was always quite rebellious, and it didn't feel comfortable anymore. It didn't feel organic. It felt a bit inauthentic, and I wasn't being myself as much, you know. And
were they giving you like notes and stuff, or was it?
It's just the overall mood and direction. You know, we can't. Let's interview. Let's not do that. Or, you know, these people are offering us this. Like, oh, it's FIFA and Chill. But they can't do FIFA. Let's just do like a talk. And,
yeah.
You know, and
I get it.
Times you're like, yeah, okay, we'll do that. But then it ends up being like, we got this thing and we've already pitched it to the brand, so you guys are doing it, right? And it's like, it stops being a sort of a two-way combo, and it becomes more, you know, the company needs to survive. It just becomes messy, I would say.
Too many people get involved. That's what it feels like.
There's too many layers, the bureaucracy, and it just sort of, it loses that essence of like, how are we doing this, you know? And from the initial, let's say, FIFA and Chill idea, which was just like, hey, we got a thing. Have you got an idea? Yeah, I got this idea. All right, let's do it. You know, let's take time. And then, you know, and then it became like, just too many people, man. There's too many people. It gets too big, and it just becomes suffocating. And yeah, I was sort of in a strange time mentally in that sort of period as well. There's so many things going on, and I was reflecting a lot on what I do and my identity and what's going on. It's just, it just sort of burnt out. It burnt out at the end. Yeah, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah. How are you enjoying life? Like you said, post Copa, doing your own show and.
Yeah, obviously got the channel with my boy Poet. It's an interesting channel. It's sort of like two guys just not letting go.
Yeah,
still here, and it's like production isn't the best. It's just like it's almost like I was like a fuck you, but a little bit of like a fuck you to everything that's come from this world, because now it's like studios and people and it's great, and I'm happy that exists. But I'm a bit of a contrarian. I like going.
It's a little disappointing. I think I know what you're saying. It's like a little disappointing that we're on YouTube now, but like the production is TV. Whereas like YouTube was like this wholesome, not wholesome, but like, I don't know how to explain it. It was authentic. It was more authentic.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong.
There's elements that's great, but like maybe for you.
Yeah, for me, it's sort of, I don't know, man. I'm a bit of a, I don't know, man. Yeah, I like being a contrarian, against the grain, sort of. That sort of perhaps there's something in me that likes to go against things. Might be just a Balkan mentality, we don't like authority and things changing too much. But it's cool, man. It's sort of there now, doing those little things, little bits and bobs. Still got my Have a Nice, the branding and the merchandise. I did like a little football shirt now, you probably saw.
Yeah, I want that Mitro one though. That one, when that comes out, it's not a Have a Nice. Maybe put a Have a Nice somewhere on the side of him, but I want the Mitro.
Yeah, the Mitro of the Al Pacino. But this is what I mean about creating. It's just like I love spontaneous ideas that sort of come and I had that idea. I was like, the Al Pacino photo. Oh wait, because the Mitro. I saw that photo. I was like, wait, I can put that on Al Pacino. And then I told a friend, can you just edit him on and he put the Mitrovic on. I designed it, and it's like, sick. Like, that's so dope. And I haven't released it, but I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
People liked it online when I put it out. So I think for me, this sort of next few years is about like refocusing things and maybe putting it into Have a Nice or branding or merch, because I do like clothes and I do like putting out my creativity into sort of merchandise and clothing. It's quite fun.
When did the Have a Nice come out? When did that idea come about?
So the phrase came from, once again, it's like, as we talk about things happening, it was me and my friend being on a train and a Polish man playing.
A Polish Don.
Yeah, a Polish Don. He was drunk and he was playing with a woman's dog. And then as the woman walked off the train, he just went, "Have a nice."
Yeah.
Me, I was like, wait, have a nice? I'm like, what? What does it mean, have a nice, And it wasn't like Borat, like, it's nice. It was, you're just telling her, have a nice. And that to me stuck. I was like, wow, I'm going to start using this at the end of my interviews. I'm going to start like seeing where this can go. And then, now it's sort of like merch. And Bernardo Silva did the celebration when I interviewed him.
Yeah, that was wild.
It's like, it's just.
It's a long time ago, right? It was like 5 years ago, more?
Yeah, wow.
Holy shit, yeah. That's been,
Been a while, man. So still active, still sort of, things are happening, They're still sort of going on and happening, and let's see where they sort of keep going,
I always wonder if you can pinpoint creativity. Can you sit down and come up with some of these things, or does it have to just be natural? Because to me, my best ideas have always come from like sleeping or just doing random stuff. I'm like, that's a great idea. Like I should prank my dad, like, or some shit, like I can't sit down and have a good idea.
It's harder, I would say, even for me. It sort of just comes up, when I guess you're not thinking and things are just happening in your consciousness and things are passing and you're doing, and something might just, it triggers something and it just goes, and it's those moments of things just coming together perfectly and going, bing, like, this could work. I think they're the best moments, man.
100%.
Moments. And I think that's what creativity is about, is like, you can't really, I think the best things in life, we can't even put language onto it. Words can't sometimes describe existence itself and the magic of being a human being, and what we can experience is so vast. And sometimes I don't even have the words to describe these things.
For the Have a Nice thing, for like clothing, did you have any like background in design or?
Nah.
Yeah, how did you start doing that?
I'm an ideas guy. That's very simple though, because it's just Yeah, it's a screen print. You just find out, but you find blanks for like hoodies and tees and stuff, and then you just go to a printer, screen printer or digital printer. You find how to do it. What I've enjoyed is learning about the process. So now, like, when I get jumpers or hoodies, I always look on the inside. So I'm, oh wait, let me see what's the base layer. You know,
is there? No, there's levels to that game. There's levels, yeah.
Which type of cotton, which type of print. There's so many different variations to sort of the merchandise game. How you fulfill it, how do you send it out? Trade you want to do that? You know, cost elements.
Printed bulk or not printed bulk or
print in bulk. Do you pre-order? Do you sort of print on demand? So many different ways to do it. It's pretty fun though once you get into it.
Yeah, and then we go from Have a Nice to the meme. I wanted to ask the meme. Have you sold it yet for an NFT?
I haven't. Once again, it's like I'm just fucking. I don't know, bro. I don't know if I'm an avian or just. I think I don't care enough. You know?
Well, go on. What do you mean? Don't care enough about selling it? Don't care about the meme?
Yeah. Because people have told me. At one point, I got inspired, and it was made. The thing that inspired me was like making hella money. And I was like, "Oh, this can make hella money." I was like, "Man, cool, innit?" But you know, it didn't really like hit me, and now I've got to promote it and shit. And I'll probably end up putting it out. It's just I haven't done it when it was sort of, I think, the time to do it, and it was sort of the thing to do. Once again, it might just be something in me that like doesn't like doing things when you're meant to do them.
You're going on instinct. You're going now on your own instinct more so than you know what someone would be like. Oh damn, you could probably get a couple 100,000 for some shit. Like you're like, doesn't feel right.
Yeah. There you go.
Doesn't feel right.
A lot of times in my life, I've followed that instinct and intuition, and usually it leads me into the right place. And if it's the wrong place, I end up learning something. So
right, there's real value to taking an L sometimes. So much more value than taking a W. I talked to this one triathlete guy who was literally one of the best triathletes of all time, and he was telling me like he lost this one race in Germany. You know, he came there thinking he was like really the best, and you know this guy couldn't beat him, and it came down to like the last 50 meters. And he's like, in his mind, he's like, this is where I want to be. I can beat this guy in a 50-meter sprint, no problem. But the circumstances, this guy was at home. There was like 50,000 people, German crowd. This guy fucking ran his life off. And he ends up beating him. And I'm like, man, that must have been devastating. And he's like, honestly, the best thing that ever happened to me. Because like I only got better from there. And like I took that little like cockiness off my shoulder. I'm like, okay, now we got and then he ended up winning like I think 33 consecutive like triathlon races in a row.
Sick.
It's wild.
I think it does. I think when you, let's say, so-called lose, or you make mistakes, or you make errors, it humbles you. I think as a human being, and it humbles that ego, the egoic part of us. That's always wants to be the best and be the main thing. And then when you start, I think, L's as we call them, they chip away at that sort of part of your character, and you can either fight it back and try and be like, no, this doesn't exist, and you ignore it and you become sort of overly egoic. You sort of learn and you start digging in a bit deeper, and I think it sort of deepens you as a human being. So I've definitely enjoyed, not say enjoyed because that would be masochistic, but
I love when girls reject me in the club. I learned something that
exactly. Now you learn. You definitely learn from making mistakes and messing up and going through
100%
troubling times, for sure.
The first time you used the Vuj meme on a girl, tell me how that went. Go.
What do you mean? Like
you pull it out, be like, hey.
I've done it before, yeah.
I'd love to know what their reaction is.
People are usually quite surprised. If it's someone that's like millennial, you know? And then you're like, oh wait, let me see. Because people ask, what do you do? Yeah,
that's a question, right? How the hell do you answer that?
I mean, I don't know what to say, bro. I just say creative. Sometimes I joke around and I say I'm an artist cosplaying as an influencer.
An artist cosplaying as an influencer. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that.
Ironic. None of it, even when I'm doing this sort of brand stuff, it's always a bit like you kind of see that I'm like, oh, this isn't real. And
this isn't real.
There is that awareness of like, this isn't me, but I'll do it anyway.
You're eating a Domino's pizza. You're like,
yeah, I'm that dude. You know that dude that I'm a mime artist.
yeah.
Paragliding my way through life, just sort of surfing the waves of the internet.
Right.
Me, but no, I've shown it to people 3 times because people, when they ask me what you do and I don't know how to respond, I go, I'm a meme. And
You're
like,
a meme, yeah.
Like, I'm just a meme.
That spooks them, like, what?
Pull up a photo, show them, and they're like, oh my god, I've used that photo so many times.
Yeah.
It's pretty weird, man, to be sort of like a worldwide meme that has been shared so widely and probably seen by hundreds of millions of people.
Bro, everyone knows the meme. That's everyone.
Wild.
We have a planet of 7 billion people, and you're probably known half around. What? Like, what does that even mean?
When you guys that have come across it at least once, you are probably, I don't know if it's up to 1 billion, but even...
Well, Kangas Khan wasn't known as known. You know what I'm saying? Like...
Like, even if it's one in every 14 humans has seen that, which would be like 500 million.
Right.
That's a lot of eyes. But you know, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's dope, though.
It's hype. It's hype. Do you know who you kind of remind me of a little bit? You know, I don't know if you've ever seen this guy, Gradual Report. Danny, Serbian guy, used to make videos on YouTube back in the day.
Yeah, ooh, it does the accent.
Yeah, I talked to that guy. That was a trip.
Was it?
Yeah, bro. Look at this. Check this shit out. So this man's now living like I don't know, makes like a video a week. A glitch in the Matrix. This one, and I think I gave him to his like Patreon or something and he gave me a nice little like handwritten letter. It's fucking.
Really?
But he's had a wild life. That guy he was like one of the biggest YouTubers on the planet at one point. If you remember the early days of YouTube.
Yeah, he was brilliant.
He had
why did he sort of stop? Because I know he stopped for a while. Yeah,
so man, it's tough. Like we talked about this, and I don't know what the outcome is. I don't know what the reason is that I don't want to say fell off. I think fell off is a stupid kind of way of saying it, but like he stopped doing as much as he used to do, or he stopped getting the numbers or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. I don't understand. He was so funny and so original, and he was so out there and wild. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he was kind of like you. He was doing all these crazy things. If you remember, like the Serbian lessons, like he had so many great videos. Maybe he's one of those guys that didn't want to change with the time, and that was a punishment from the YouTube gods and the algorithm and the audiences that changed and grew. I don't know.
Maybe because the audiences have changed and things have changed.
Yeah.
No, it's tough to remain out there. I think once you start getting numbers as well, and views, subscribers, it can become difficult because your perceptions change. Or once you start getting the attention and the retention, how do you want to grow this? Did you want this?
Right.
Am I now doing it for me, or do I feel the pressure to do it for an audience? Who is me?
Right.
How do I now create, knowing that there's people here watching me?
Am I second guessing what I was gonna do, like because of the audience? Am I changing the form? Am I doing something different because now you have this external thing? Like, I got to do a bit better. Like, I need to increase the retention time or whatever the fuck that is.
Some people can float with the waves amazingly and they sort of smash it, and some people I think maybe decide, you know what, I don't know how to do this, or I don't want to do this, and I agree with you in terms of the word fell off. I think is a little bit of a.
What does that mean? What does that mean? Fell off?
I think for me, fell off sounds like you had some sort of social clout and now you don't.
Yeah, it's so gross. It's something really disgusting.
I think it's not a word that I enjoy. Yeah, I think it indicates, once again, it's like external happiness. You're putting your worth into the external, which does sometimes make sense, and we do have external stimuli which give us sort of an understanding of our value. But if you put all of your value into the external world,
it's not. Yeah,
it's tricky.
Do I go to my engineering friend and when he gets a slightly lower paying job, I'm like, bro, you fell off. You're making 100K, you're making 90 this year. Oh, bro, stop going down. I don't know. Unsubscribe.
It's quite demeaning. I think quite demeaning, but. Everyone's got a different way to express, and everyone's got a different perception. So it is what it is.
There's no rules. That's the one thing I've learned about talking to so many people. There's no rules. Everyone has a different way to the goal or whatever their perceived goal is.
Definitely.
And it's fun to kind of pick at brains of people that I like.
In January, you should. Actually, can I even reveal that yet? What will be in December? Basically, I did an advert for a brand.
It is December, by the way, right now.
It will be airing in Canada as well.
No way.
Yeah. So look out for it. I can't. Just in case.
Off the record, tell me if I can know. Maybe tell me I want to know.
Just don't put it in the edit.
Yeah, of course. Okay. Oh shit! No way. Let's go, bro. I was about to order Domino's the other day and have a nice coupon code to check out.
No, but check it out, man. Maybe you'll see it on TV when it sort of lands.
That's hype.
But I think Canada's one of the territories. So I played a caveman.
I can't see a better role for you, but that's perfect. You got the beard.
Once again, it's like the hair growth.
Yeah.
It worked out in the end. You know, it's like I had no clue what was going to happen. Obviously, with the pandemic and the lockdowns and shit. And then this role came up, and I auditioned, and then I ended up getting it. And I think a lot of it was the look, because I let my hair out, I had the beard. Yeah, it ended up leading me somewhere.
So you're finding these random opportunities, and you've already done so many things. So what motivates you? What do you want to do next? That's big. What are you thinking? Is this a question you even think about?
I don't, bro.
Yeah, really? No, you don't think about motivations? You just do.
I do. I would say I do. And at times I think I have those conflicts internally of what is it that I want to do? What is it that motivates me? How do I want to be seen? I want to be doing bigger things,
Of course. Yeah.
Progress, it's sort of, it should be going upwards all the time. But I think that a lot of that's sort of ingrained in us from schooling days, but who says we have to? And I'm sort of perhaps even rebelling against my own desires sometimes.
Right.
I question where those desires come from.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's the best way forward, but for me, it's like ideally it's living a relatively calm and normal life. With not so many ups and downs, just a balanced life. And I think I desire that now. The main thing is like, I want to live a balanced life. I want to live like in cohesion with myself.
Yeah, I understand.
And perhaps, creating, but out of a different place, and seeing how creativity comes to me again, rather than from the place of like seeking that approval.
Yeah.
So definitely more of a thought out. Next week I'm in Spain. Bale, and then it's like next week I'm at the Derby in Belgrade, and it's like week after I'm interviewing KSI and and then it's like and then it's you're sort of always, what's next? How does this get bigger? How does this
It's a bottomless pit you can never get to.
Eventually, unless you find the sort of grounding in who you are, and if that is the only thing which defines you, once it goes, it's like, why does I always wonder? It's given me, I'd say, insight into why many, I'd say, people of some sort of status struggle mentally or emotionally, or even to the extent that some people take their lives. I think being in it from a certain viewpoint and reflecting upon my own life, it's like, oh, maybe now I can understand that person, why that happened. And I've used all these experiences to try to understand, I think, the human psyche overall more.
Yeah.
And my own, in a sense, also then my own psyche and how I live in this world. And it's fascinating when you start doing that. And now I'm sort of interested in those characters, like Jordan Peterson.
Of course. You read his book, 12 Rules or 13? No,
I never.
Good book.
Yeah. He's a very fascinating, obviously, character online. Speaks about meaning and a lot of those things, and I'm more fascinated now, I think, by more like philosophy, psychology,
right.
Things that are more internally focused rather than so externally focused. So that naturally brings a shift into what and how you express yourself on these platforms and what you put out into the world.
Do you fuck with meditation, yoga, anything?
Yeah. Meditation.
Have you done any hot yoga?
I have.
It's fucking. How do you like hot yoga?
It was good, man. I really enjoyed hot yoga. It was very, very tough. And then when you come out, I felt a bit lightheaded.
Yeah.
All this stuff a lot. But yeah, no, I've done a bit of the meditating and the yoga and I guess prayer and being more grateful for the little things.
Right. The journey to me in those things is what really is the value. The journey. It's not the outcome. It's the
Yeah, 100%. Even the last 10 years reflecting on what I've done online and, I've made it in my own world, Like for me, I've made it. I think in the eyes of many, maybe I haven't made it. But in some eyes, I have made it, depending on what.
That's a weird one, right?
It all depends on your value system. It's like, what do you value, who you are,
Bro, if you haven't made it, we have a way too high of a bar for. If you haven't made it, the bar as a society, we've set it way too fucking high. Because
it's interesting though. Because for example, there was an article. I think one of the Serbian outlets put one out of me in the Mitrovic shirt. I had a Mitrovic shirt, the jokes one. And
the Portugal one.
Yeah. The article was like, the YouTube sensatia.
Yeah.
And they used like, he's got 115,000 subscribers. And then someone left a comment and they were like, sensation? Like, sensacija ima samo 115,000.
Oh my God.
To me, I'm like, wow. Like, I disagree with how they wrote the article.
Yeah.
I'm not a sensation. Like, I'm just
a guy, man. Don't boost me like this.
You're like hyping shit up over the top. And then obviously someone that doesn't know me, we're going to be like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, I don't even know him.
Yeah.
And then to me, it's like a whole show. Like, it's almost like observing a show of and
you're watching this game unfold in front of you that you're not really playing in. You're watching the media and the guy that you don't know talk in a way that like you have no input and no like you don't agree with whatever. It's just weird. It's like
it's fucking fascinating, bro.
It's fun, yeah.
I love. I guess now having gone down a more reflective route and maybe a psychological route and maybe in some way a spiritual route as well. It's like, wow, you just start viewing things in 180s and different ways and you try to understand different situations. And I think that's what I'm fascinated by a lot is our motivations.
Yeah, human psychology or whatever. Yeah.
That motivates us, me, people around me. Who are we, society and how much do we do for ourselves? How much of us is really us and how much of it is environment?
Right.
And those questions are like endless. It's like once you start going down that rabbit hole, it's like, whoa. And I think it's not good to go too much into it because then you just end up,
you start not wanting to exist in the reality that you have to exist in.
And you end up being sort of like a nihilist.
Right.
Strikes.
What's the point of anything?
What is the point? And it's all meaningless. And then I think you're in a dangerous place because then it's like, okay, if you're in that place, I think it becomes needed to get out of it. I think because then it's like you can just do something dumb or reckless, and then if there is no meaning. But then I think absurdism is something which I think on the flip side is more of a fun philosophy.
For sure.
Everything's absurd.
Everything's absurd. The Eric Andre philosophy just.
Yeah, I think for me, I bought the absurdism. I'd say I'm sort of on that sort of fringe.
Dude, we almost something that we really wanted to talk about was we almost ended up going to London to watch the Wimbledon thing, but then I realized it was almost impossible to get into the country during the COVID times without it. But you've been spending a lot of time traveling to various sports activities, and bro, you've seen Djoko win slams, you've seen Serbia qualify for World Cups, you've seen Serbia at the World Cup. You see Kolarov score that banger in person.
I saw the Shaqiri and
you shot
Eagles. I've seen it all, man. Head start.
Bro, this is a controversial opinion here, but I actually kind of fuck with Shaqiri. I like Shaqiri. I don't care that he hates all of our people. I know he does, but like to me, I don't know, for some reason I still kind of like him. Like he's sick. Like he's a sick footballer.
He did. I don't.
I'm not. Yeah, obviously.
No, I was gonna say I don't care.
Oh, you don't care? Okay.
Because would have I, or maybe someone else? Let's say it was a Serbian footballer,
right,
against Albania, as I think Tosic did. He put up the three fingers. And it's like,
yeah,
Hedgeman scored against Bosnia. He put up 3 fingers. I think in the Balkans, in the sporting arena, it's how you express yourself. As long as you're not, fighting or doing anything like that.
Yeah.
Sort of national symbols and parts of everyone's identity. I think for me, I understand. So even when he did it and then Xhaka did it, obviously it wasn't pleasant. I was in the stadium, like we're getting basically knocked out of the World Cup after that.
That VAR decision that doesn't, Mitro gets a clear PK.
That was wild, bro. Because even then I was sort of reflecting on a lot of things, and then someone even threw a beer that hit me on the back of my
No way.
That goal, at the end, and someone probably just threw a beer out of anger, and it's just smashed me on the back. So I've got this wet back as well. I'm looking back, so I turn around, and I'm obviously now a bit angered. I'm like, and I'm looking up the stadium, and no one wants to say anything. Because that was the time when I switched. Before that, I was sort of
yeah.
I saw him do the eagle thing, and I was like, damn it, this is gonna be headline news globally,
Right.
But that's part of sport. And then I knew that what comes around goes around, and then 2 years later we beat Portugal in the 90th minute. To me, that's just, that is sport.
The circle of life.
Yeah, you need to be able to accept the L's, and then
that's the beauty of it. The highs and the lows. You can't always be in the highs.
100%, bro. 100%.
You know what's wild? I went to Spain and they were playing the semifinals of the Euros, right? Or semis or quarters. Yeah. No one cared. No one fucking cared. It's are you guys really that fucking spoiled, you little shits?
Essentially.
Yeah, they are.
But we're having a real renaissance. I think Serbian sports is sort of having its renaissance, and the Serbian nation is with all these sports people at the same time having a sort of...
Yeah. It's the golden generation.
I don't want to go into the politics and all that stuff, but when you look at, Djokovic, Jokic, Tadic, Mitrovic, Vlahovic.
Yeah.
People now that are sort of, and it's a great time to sort of be able to say, oh yeah, I'm Serbian, as it wasn't as easy for us growing up in the West. I'm sure you agree.
400%, yeah.
90s and then post, early 2000s to even say you're Serbian, I think.
Oh, it was very hated, and I realized why very early in my youth. Bro, it was a website I used to go to. It was every single movie that had the Balkans or a lot of Serbians portrayed as terrorists. And I shit you not, it was a quality, a good amount of Hollywood movies. There's a Vin Diesel movie called The Pacifier.
Yeah.
The main terrorists in the movie are fucking these guys from Serbia. I'm like, bruh.
Yeah.
How many terrorists do we don't have that many fucking terrorists.
That's how we, I think our experiences in the West having, with the wars going on, we're young, man. We're not to blame for these things. And we shouldn't be taking the brunt for the actions of different people and things that we disagree with. So I'm always going to be proud of the culture and the sport and people that I feel close to.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm always going to sort of, enjoy it while I can, and enjoy the food and enjoy the music and enjoy the success, and also cry when we lose. And it's a big part of me. And,
you got to cry sometimes. There's nothing wrong with that.
Get it out. And that was one of those games which was I didn't cry, but I was like, "Yep, this is very disappointing."
It's a low. We're in a low now. Now we can stay in that low for a little bit, but eventually we'll come back up.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? There's something that I wanted to ask you. Why is Croatia so good and we're so bad in comparison to the talent we have?
What, football-wise?
Yeah. You have any thoughts on that? Because I don't understand. When I look at their team and I look at our team, I see same or similar levels of talent. But they're always more consistent.
I think managers? People that have led their squads have been better leaders, I would say. They have their own problems in their FAs, but I think we haven't had as good leadership as perhaps the Croats have in who leads the team.
Do you think it's a culture thing long term? In the sense that they have a winning mentality and they've had it for quite a while.
But then why are we so much better at basketball and water polo and?
Well, they don't have the talent there.
And but they have a C. So why do we?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, what the fuck they do? You're right. I didn't think about that.
And it's basketball. Maybe some reason football. I would say the leader. But look at us now. We'll see, because when we had Antic.
Yeah.
relative success when we had the 98 team did really well, Euro 2000. And now I think this team in Qatar will do well. I think we'll do well. But yeah, for some, I think we say it in Serbia, and it's like cult representacija. They have the cult element of this is something. I think since after Antic, it was sort of lost in Serbia, and then we go through periods of just sort of not having that cult of the national team.
Yeah, it's like mediocrity, and it's like on a cultural level almost. Everyone is kind of in the same negative mindset. Like, anytime they have a bad result, I'm sure every fucking headline in Serbia is like, they fucking tied against whatever Kazakhstan.
I think even Croatia has that a little bit. But
do they?
reason,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's maybe some similarities, but yeah, I don't know.
I'm curious to see what happens this year because I think we're both qualified, right? And on paper, we have like similar like value teams. We're both.
April is the draw.
Oh, is it? Yeah. And there's also some.
We're in pot 3.
I haven't even looked. How are we looking? World Cup pots.
I am hoping that we get Qatar from pot 1.
Yeah, no shit, eh?
I don't know.
Me too.
I don't know if we can get Switzerland from pot 2, but I would take Switzerland. Let me see. Well,
no, we're in pot 4.
No.
Oh no, that's 2018. Never mind. What the fuck? Sorry, that's my bad. Here we go. Yeah, you're right. All right, pots. Pot 2. Switzerland, Wales, Poland, Austria, Ukraine. Wait, am I looking at the right thing? I'm not looking at the right thing.
We're not in pot 2. No, this is
the wrong sport, I think, because or am I tripping? I don't think some of those countries made it.
I don't think the pots are out yet, but the projected. Let me write.
That's the project because I was like Wales and Austria didn't even qualify, so.
But from apparently last World Cup we were pot 3, and I think apparently we are likely to be pot.
Like these pots make sense, but some of these teams have not qualified, so that's why I'm confused. Like, Croatia in the pot 1.
Yeah, Croatia pot 1 would be incredible.
Oh my god!
Yeah, we were meant to get. It's annoying because this Euros we didn't qualify. Obviously, the Scotland game. If we had qualified, we would have played England and Croatia.
That would have been mental for you.
I would have been here watching England Serbia. That would have been my sort of trip, tick-offs.
That would.
But like I have experienced, Djokovic hit the 20. I've watched,
That's you've seen some crazy shit.
Watched, all these iconic moments. I went to the Euros final. I went to World Cup finals. The one thing I want to see in my lifetime, sports-wise, is Serbia win a major trophy. But I've seen everything else.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. It's going to be a tough one.
There's not many opportunities to do that. But if we could do a Greece 2004, I do believe we can do it.
Does Red Star winning Europa count? Because we're pretty that's the if we're being honest, that's our best shot right now.
Probably our best shot, or a conference league. I think wouldn't be as celebrated, but obviously Europa League would be huge. But I think for me, national team winning a Euros or a World Cup, that would be me. That would be like me sort of saying, I can retire from
sport.
Watching sport, and then I'll just be a neutral. I'll just watch things,
Yeah.
But there's so many things that have happened, though. I think from things I've wished that I don't see why this one can't happen. So I fingers across that one day Serbia will win a major trophy.
What was it?
I can see it happening.
Yeah. What was it? I was gonna also ask you. What was it like watching Wimbledon? Was with Djoko winning it?
He reached 20 Grand Slams on the day, which was a historic moment to witness. It was just a great moment, man. I had my Serbian flag on me. The cameras got me a few times.
Was the crowd against him?
Relatively.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. That makes it even sweeter.
Charity in the underdog. Yeah, for me, exactly.
Yeah.
He's an icon of the sport. He's one of the GOATs of I guess an athlete. As an athlete, he's a GOAT. He goes into one of the greatest names that have ever taken part in any sport. And yeah, obviously in tennis, he's the greatest. It's amazing to have that as an ambassador and to have witnessed it. Brilliant, because I watched him when I was like 16, 15. Yeah, to see it, 14 years later, him.
There were some moments in that game when he was down a little bit. I can't remember if you said it on some other podcast or I just heard it on your show, but did he look up, give you a little fist bump?
I was just chanting the whole time. I was like, And at one point, he looked up and he was like,
no way, that's fucking wild.
Me and some of the guys that were there in the stadium. It was wicked, man.
Yeah.
I hope he can hit 21 in the year that's to come now in 2022. And if he hits a 21 or 22 slams, I mean, no one can talk to him. No one can talk to him already.
No one can talk to him already. There's always going to be haters, though. But yeah, he's already done everything. No one expected him to even get here. Let's be honest.
Fucking legend, bro.
People don't understand what fucking Nola is to Serbian people, bro. Like, I think my dad loves Nola more than me. Like, and honestly, I'm not even upset about it. Like,
I understand.
I'm like, I get it, bro. Like, he won 20 Grand Slams. I'm like, I'm making YouTube videos. That's fair. Like, I'm not upset about it. Like, if I were you, I get it. Shit.
We'll see what happens now in January. There's rumors he might not play Australian.
No, he's playing. He's playing. Nadal's playing, so he's playing, bro. Don't.
Okay.
Come on. That's all for like the little media fluff. That's like, they just need headlines to sell. Bro, he's gonna play. Yeah. Do you know how much money they would lose if he didn't play?
Nah.
They would lose a fuck ton of money. Like the Australian Open, like people don't understand how big these athletes are and how much money they bring in. I heard that some tournaments, they pay Federer $1 million just to show up and play.
I have heard about that.
Have you heard about that? Yeah, like just to show up and play. They don't care if they lose.
Ones in Abu Dhabi and yeah.
What oil money is that?
Yeah, they don't play, bro.
All right, boss, bro. We talked for an hour. I don't want to take too much of your time. Hopefully, I'll see you in the new year. Like, if you ever come to Spain, I'll be there.
Shit, where are you living now?
I'm in Windsor, but I'm hoping to move to Valencia. I'm working on getting a visa. This last year has been insane for me because like I wanted to go to school. I just wanted to get the hell out of here. It was too cold. That was one of the main reasons. And then I got a job opportunity to do some like crypto stuff.
Sweet.
So like I'm like, fuck it, fuck school. They pay me good money, and now I can live wherever I want, work remote.
So yeah.
So when you
it's beautiful as well, man. I've been there. It's really nice,
bro. Oh my god,
the beaches.
But dude, it's like I've traveled to a lot of places, and to me, like Valencia was like this is my Spanish home. Like I've been studying Spanish for 2 years now.
Yeah,
I'm ready.
Fuck,
bro. We have footy. Like this is I'm trying. I feel like I'm pitching like a retirement home. To like,
yeah.
Bro, we have footy every day of the week. Like you can come, like we can play on the sand. There's like on cement. We can play on artificial grass. There's like really nice lights. In Valencia it's cheap. It's like the food is amazing. Bro, I'm just trying to get all the boys to Spain. That's like whoever wants to go, like who wants to get out of this cold fucking abyss.
Dystopia. You guys are living in a real dystopia.
Yeah.
Hell out of there, bro.
But like they all want it. No one's saying like fuck. I can't do it, bro. Like they all want it. They just need to find a way. I want to be that guy. I want like you're the guy for me, content wise, influence wise. Like I look up to what you've done big time. I want to be that guy for like some random dude working in the factory. Like fuck, bro. I hate my life. Waking up at 6 a.m. and -30. You know. Inspire
them to get out there, try new things.
Bro, if they want a way, I got the ticket. I know how to do it. It's going to take a bit longer than they probably want, but I got it. But yeah, I don't know. Like, what are you working on? You want to promote something? Anything that you plug?
These are my socials, but nah, bro.
Just have a nice, man.
Have a nice and enjoy, man. And Serbia to win the World Cup.
Serbia to win the World Cup. Let's go.
Putting the propaganda out there. Like I can see it happening, so I'm putting it out there.
Put that out there, yeah. Let's get the expectations really fucking high, and then we can't mix them.